With party scoopers, we have Craig, we have Sam, we are raring to go as things starting to get a little more interesting, Jason Parkin, as the days get closer.
Yeah, big event coming up this weekend in town that's getting more and more press associated with it.
That's right. We have the Jefferson Jackson dinner from the Iowa Democratic Party this weekend, which is kind of the last big multi-candidate event of the caucus cycle. We'll obviously have a debate next month in Iowa, but this is the last time where they'll all be together for a big fundraiser like this. Okay. So we had Jim Webb until yesterday.
I'll say maybe not all together. Maybe not all together.
Maybe not all together, but we have Hillary Clinton, Martin O'Malley, Bernie Sanders, Lincoln Chafee, and we'll see what happens with Joe Biden. We're still seeing a lot of rumors about Joe Biden.
Yesterday they were talking on on C-SPAN, on Fox News Channel, and on CNN. An announcement is forthcoming. You know, it's like, what is he just picking?
Oh yeah, we've been through this cycle. I mean, we had a week ago before the Democratic debate, everybody was out there saying, is he going to do it? Is he going to get in for this debate? The next day, Hillary had a great debate performance. There's no way Biden gets in. And now we're a week later, and we're back to the speculation. So I don't know what's going to happen. I think he's still seriously thinking about it, but we'll see if he pulls the trigger. Obviously, it would be a big feat for him to announce and then come to Iowa on Saturday and have an organization in place for a JJ. Right?
You know what would be cool if he would do, Jason, if he'd jump in his Trans Am and do a spin out and kick the door open and then jump out and tell us whether he's in or out.
Burn some tires. Yeah, that would be cool.
He should just drive to Iowa in his Trans Am and then make his great entrance.
So I remember in 2007 at the JJ when they took this, I watched it on TV. And so they had all the candidates there, and it was packed, and it was in the old vets. And so he came on stage and he said, hello Iowa, and then he motioned to the Obama supporters and said, hello Illinois. It was great. So why wouldn't you want Joe Biden there?
No, he is
great.
A nice guy. He's a fun guy. We had a chance when he was running the first time. When it was a very basic beginning, he spent about an hour and a half visiting with us. Mm-hmm. And the thing that was really unusual about him is when you look at him and talk to him eye to eye, it was like you're talking to your uncle or your grandfather. Very stoic. It was very interesting talking to this.
And I think that's the one thing that is lacking in that Democrat field, where someone that's really relatable, that people feel like they know and they root for, and all of that.
And his story is incredible too. What he's done, what he's been through, where he is now. So
yeah, and I think we've started to see kind of him develop a message. We've seen him talk a lot about his son and some of the reasons why he's considering this. So I think if he does run, he does have a convincing story to tell. It's just a matter of, can he pull an organization together fast enough? Can he raise the money? I mean, we have Hillary Clinton with $33 million in the bank already. Can Joe Biden ramp this up fast enough to be competitive?
Speaking of in the bank, I believe that Trump is still, as far as I know, polling in front in a lot of places. But what I read last week was that Senator Cruz has raised lots and lots of money, probably lots more than people that know.
Yeah. Well, Ben Carson raised the most on the Republican side, and then Jeb Bush and Ted Cruz were kind of right there, neck and neck. And so, I mean, the Cruz has that ability to raise low-dollar grassroots dollars from people all over the country, and he's done a good job of it. And so it gives him the ability to do a viability argument, where he can say to people, look, I know you like candidate A or B, but I have the resources to run the type of campaign that can be successful and actually win the nomination. What's fascinating to me, though, about Cruz is that I don't see him kind of putting forth the effort I think it takes in Iowa. And the other thing, we just talked about Biden in terms of the personal connection. Like, you root for Joe Biden. And I think when you look back at Rick Santorum and Mike Huckabee, they were able to really build a connection with voters. One thing I lack with Cruz when I see him on the campaign trail is that he lacks making that personal connection. There's nothing about him. And at the end of the day, I think people need to realize and always remember, this is why Hillary struggles. There has to be that personal connection, that you feel invested in that person, that you'll go to work for that person because you like them, you feel committed to them, and I think Cruz lacks that, which is interesting for a social conservative candidate like that, because typically they're the ones who can build the really strong bonds, and Cruz struggles with that.
Interesting take on that, yeah.
Hi.
Well, that was kind of a bummer.
No, seriously, because that connection here, especially here in Iowa, which the way people meet the candidates is so personal.
Yeah, and I think the big thing in Iowa is you have to make yourself accessible to voters, and so that you have time to build those relationships. And so I see a lot of the establishment candidates, Bush, Rubio, not coming to Iowa enough and having enough events where at the end of the day you can build that type of relationship. And we're really in this crunch between now and Thanksgiving, where I think if you're really going to build an organization, you got to be out there doing it now before we all get busy with Christmas parties, holiday plans, football, all the important things that we rank above presidential.
Who on the Republican side is doing it enough?
Yeah, I mean, so it's funny. It's kind of, you have your lower tier guys, your Santorums and Jindals who are here all the time, and then you have guys who kind of turn it on and turn it off. And it's like, I thought in late September, kind of thought Rubio was really going to start making his move in Iowa. And he was here in September, and then a couple weeks later he was back, and then now it's been like 4 weeks before he's going to be back at the end of the month for a couple multi-candidate events. And I understand the demands on their time and schedule, where it has to be difficult to say, well, I need to be in Iowa every other week. But I think if you really want to build something and start to build that momentum, that I think a guy like Rubio could clearly make in the state, you got to be here. And it's not overly complicated. You got to just make yourself accessible, and I think you'd be very well rewarded for that. So it'll be interesting to see if that starts now. I keep waiting for it.
All right. Again, any of your candidates, the door is open. Let them come over if they want to visit with us. We're not going to talk all politics.
Wait, if I get them, do I have to get up early and come?
No, just send them.
Just send them.
Yeah,
we'll handle it.
We'll ask Biden.
Just
Jim Webb will be here tomorrow.
Joe invited me on the air when he was on with me last time. He's on the air. He invited me to Washington D.C. if he got elected, which he did and never has. So I gotta ask him about that. Say, hey, listen, you had told me I can come visit your house, and you never asked me. So you get him in here. That'd be cool.
That'd be awesome.
Yeah.